Welcome back to the LeaderFit vlog series, episode 7. We are continuing to get LeaderFit, and we're getting LeaderFit for the work of leading inclusion, access, and equity. Now, this vlog series is really part 2 to our Closing Gaps by Opening Spaces vlog series that we recorded some time ago. I invite you to go back and check it out. But in that vlog series, we talked about an intentional and impactful leadership. And this was really just a shift in how we lead this work, shifting from a singular approach to a more holistic leadership approach and framework. Well, she says, think about it and imagine what that looks like for you as a leader. Now, in this vlog series, as you already know, we're getting LeaderFit. So if you're ready to get LeaderFit for this month and this series, and you're ready for your 20 push-ups, then let's jump right into our conversation. We're on the air. By now, I'm pretty confident now that we're in episode 7 that you are a fit leader and you are seeing the collective impact of your work. So, all I want to do now is simply just come alongside you here, episode 7, as your personal leader fit trainer, and just nudge you just a little bit more as I challenge you, as I encourage you, and as I share with you each episode to equip you with some specific leader moves that are designed to help you do 3 essential things. And that is really to stay focused on the work, be intentional in prioritizing the work, and then tracking it on your calendar. And you know exactly why this is important. But more than anything, you know how this is impactful. So here we go. Here's a quick early challenge. And I want you to, because we've been doing this in each of our episodes, I want you to lead our LeaderFit warm up. So, do you remember the Lead Embrace framework of drivers that support and the designs that sustain instructional excellence in our co-taught classroom? So, I'm going to give you a moment just to think about that. And let's see if you can lead us. All right, cool. So, you remember those core 4 drivers that support instructional excellence. And we're going to talk about one of those final drivers today. And then, of course, you remember those core 4 designs that sustain instructional excellence. Okay. So in this episode, we get fit with a driver that supports this work called PD for me, or professional development for me. It's that individualized support for teachers through your school's multi-tiered system of professional development. So every year as a leader, I anticipate and plan for a multi-tiered or a differentiated professional development plan, one that considers our student data, right, which are the needs of our students, obviously, the instructional priorities, which are the needs of our teachers, and then our school improvement plan, which are essentially the needs of our school. Now, remember, for those of you that checked out our Closing Gaps by Opening Spaces vlog series, this driver that supports co-teaching excellence is about meeting the specific needs of teachers and teacher teams to help them develop the instructional pedagogy and practices so they can implement those supports and guiding their students to successful outcomes. And really, at its core, this requires identifying the needs of your teachers and coordinating the support in order to close the gaps between performance and instructional expectations. So let's check this out. So how do you get fit and stay fit so you can make an impact as a leader on instructional excellence for students with disabilities? So let's check out these leader moves that reflect the importance of PD for me. And one thing that I'm going to share with you here is that you will hear me reference a few times Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 professional development. And when I reference these tiers, know that I'm referring to the level of professional development and not instruction. Because when it comes to instruction, we're always primarily talking about the quality of Tier 1 instruction. So I wanted to make sure we were clear about that. But of course, as you know, these leader moves are going to align with our LeaderFit guide of being focused, intentional, and that's right, trackable. So leader move number one, conduct a comprehensive needs assessment. So look at your data to determine the challenges and to identify the potential professional development to launch for success. And can I be honest? Um, I've not always done this process really well. There are times when really I've jumped ahead or kind of like casually engaged in this process because I'll see and believe that our school or our teachers needed to be focused on this rather than really utilizing the available data to help me inform those decisions. And the reality is to truly tier and to target your professional development for all, including those individuals who need it the most, prioritizing this process, particularly when you're thinking about your SPED teachers and your SPED teams and your SPED students, is critical. So schools that have really done this process right, they've seen the impact in student growth and teacher impact for teachers of varying levels. So be sure to do it, this with the kind of fidelity that it requires. Leader move number two, engage as the lead learner. So as a lead learner, it is critically important for you to engage with teachers in their professional development, specifically around co-teaching, around specially designed instruction, and around those other instructional supports and priorities that you've established. Um, Leveraging this move is to support teachers is so valuable because you're learning and working with them as they grow. Right. Uh, so as a building leader, I'm always engaged in school-wide professional development because really it serves as the framework and foundation for my instructional conversations and support with teachers. You know, the last couple of years, I made this a priority practice with my SPED teachers. I had a conversation with a team a few months ago, in fact, and we truly collectively reflected on an important takeaway from our professional development session during this dialogue, and it was powerful for us, and I believe for them as well, because they realized their leader was engaged with them in this work. Um, and I also make it a point of emphasis, like other leaders talk with that's engaged in this kind of work, is to engage in those tier two professional development support as well, which are those targeted professional learning opportunities for specific groups of teachers. And even sometimes in those tier three supports, those individuals or specific teams that need more intensive support. Leader move number three, schedule your instructional walks and instructional rounds to observe the implementation of those practices in classrooms. Sounds pretty simple, right? And a standard practice for schools in many ways. Just remember, during these instructional rounds, focus on the student learning experience and student engagement. And you can do this for the implementation of those practices that were delivered in that tier one professional development, as well as that tier two and tier three professional development. Conduct those instructional rounds, instructional walks to ensure and support teachers in this work. Leader move number four, one of my favorites, quite honestly, which is shout out the progress and performance. So, publicly and privately, shout out your teachers for implementing those high leverage instructional practices and specially designed instruction, particularly when they implement as a result of their engagement in professional development. So, this kind of feedback can be both delivered to individuals, to teams, through the feedback cycle, and through sharing with all teachers the highlights of best implemented practices from their colleagues' classrooms. Right? And I'll tell you what this does. This reinforces the priorities and expectations beyond the wall of that specific classroom and team. It can also be really an instructional culture lift and a staff culture lift. Uh, this is what I really enjoy doing as a building leader. I visited a team's collaborative planning time a few weeks ago, and I was so excited to see them utilizing the collaborative protocol that I had to share with others, right? And so, I immediately shared with others, sent out an email, and say, hey, here's an exemplar. Here's a team that's doing things the right way. And if you need some support, check them out. Right. So again, this was an instructional lift, a culture lift, and a staff culture lift. Leader move number 5. Right. Provide space for reflection. So meet individually with teachers, and meet with teams regularly to provide them an opportunity to reflect on their growth. Um, I believe it was Charlotte Danielson's framework on enhancing professional practice, where she highlights, particularly in the inclusion framework, how consistently reflecting on one's growth is an essential component of enhancing professional practice. Right? So be intentional and provide the space to engage your teachers and teacher teams in this valuable practice. Now, here's the key, and I share this with you all the time. It should be almost automatic. Here's the key to all these leader moves. And it's really, truly the most challenging, but it's the final step to truly be fit. And that is to put it on your calendar and track your work, right? Listen, leaders, being leader fit is not just about hard work. It's hands-on work. And when you are fit, you're focused, you're intentional, you're tracking, you already know, and you've seen this, and you should be excited about this, that you can have a positive and healthy impact on the outcomes for our students with disabilities. So I want to encourage you. I want to continue to challenge you. But we know that it's hard work, but we also know that it's hands-on work. And so continue to be fit. I look forward to you joining me for the last LeaderFit vlog, episode 8, where we look at the final design. And as always, you can go back, check out the Lead Embrace app, where you have access to all of the other vlog episodes for those of you that not had an opportunity to check those out, as well as the Closing Gaps by Opening Spaces vlog series that we did some time ago. Just go to our website, request your access. Listen, our goal, as I share with you each time I meet with you, is to simply put practical tools in your hands so you can prioritize the work and you can be efficient and go work on the work. So, hey, listen, go get LeaderFit. It was great to see you all.